just heading down to the allotment. I've not been down since last week. I nipped down just to see how things were going on, and my broccoli was a little on the small side, but almost ready. So I think I'm going to go down and I'm going to cut it. I'm hoping it's not blown, but some of it might have done, because I had some like plants back at home in the like the strawberry pot things I was trying out. Some of them have started to blow, so I'm hoping I can just get down there in time to harvest them. I've got some courgettes to put out down there, but traffic's quite busy, so I'm hoping it'll take too long to get down, so I haven't got much time. But in the meantime, I've got some footage from sort of mid-May, I think it was, when I was putting the tomatoes actually in the raised beds, and it's a twin pot method. So I said I'd put it up for those who didn't know what I meant. But yeah, it's quite straightforward. So there'll be whatever footage I've got of that. There'll be some bits and bobs added to this video along the way, because I'll probably do this over a few days, catch some bits and bobs. Harvesting lettuce, it's coming out my ears, like, that's not a problem. Some of my little gems are starting to bolt, so I've got some sort of follow-on sowings done. So I'll get down the allotment, and hopefully it doesn't rain or it's not too windy, because I haven't got my little windshield thing for my microphone. But we'll get a bit of footage and hopefully get a bit of a harvest, and hopefully all's not lost. But we'll have a look while we're down there anyway. So I shall see you down there. We're on the 20th of May now, so I'm going to actually put these in the final positions. I did some yesterday because I came out here to empty the polytunnel and obviously get the shelf out. So it was quite challenging because it was really hot yesterday. So it would have been better if like doing it today, where it's a bit more overcast. Yesterday it was 20 plus degrees outside, so God knows what it was in here. So I had to keep sort of in and out because it was getting a bit hot. So these are all planted in place. So I left two so I could show you how to do it, the twin pot method. And then I need to go and pick some more lettuce for Kane and that. So it's quite simple. I've got paracord up the top, tied up the top. Somebody's left a comment in one of the previous videos about how long does paracord last. I've been using it for about 5 years now and it's still the same, so I don't exactly know how long it lasts, but it does okay. All I do at the end of the year is I just sort of dangle it in a cup of disinfectant water and then just let it hang and drip dry, and then I just wrap it back up and tie it up at the top, and then the year after I just do the same again, give it a clean, let it dangle, let it dry out, and then wrap it back up until I'm ready to do this. So it's quite straightforward. Like I say, I mean, canes, they've not been in these that long, I can't remember now what date I potted these on, something like the 4th or 5th of months. I've only been in just over 2 weeks in these two pots. So this is a money maker. It's a very upright one, this one, but should be okay. It's safe seed, this home safe seed, the money maker. Well, it's pretty much like two pots. Take the outer pot for one side like that, and this is the inner pot I was on about with no actual bottom in it. I don't know if you can see, but it's got roots at the bottom. And then I've got this visqueen or black polythene covering the raised beds, and all I've done is I've taken out about inch and a half down there, and these are just pots just for water into. So I've used a bulb planter, cored them out about 2.5 inch deep, sit them in. So I'll water through these to try and keep the bed moist. This will help any moisture that's in the ground as it warms. It'll come up, hit the back of this, and it just like hydrates the soil, help it prevent it from drying out. The beds, I don't know what the soil conditions like, but I've not done anything to it apart from earlier on in the year. I think I just put a layer of my own compost on top of it. So fingers crossed, there's nothing bad with it and the plants will do okay. So I'm going to get me plant, sit it in like so, and then I'm just going to sort of just turn the whole thing, and all that'll do is it just merges the two composts together a bit more. I'm going to bring all the cane to at the front of me. It doesn't really matter, and then once I'm happy where it is, I'll hold the clip and push this cane down so it's actually into the bed at the bottom now, and then just go around it, around the sides here. Just press it lightly and that'll just crumble the compost together. It won't take long, give it about a week and you'll come out here and you'll tug these and they'll not shift. the roots will be in. I'll just get my string from above. That's all. Paracord, I just got it out of Amazon. It was about a tenner for a big roll of it. But yeah, I've just got a timber batten across the top with some like small 30mm screws in it. It's just tied around them. I'm going to bring it straight down the plant to where the cane is. I'm just going to tie it just in like a little overhand knot, like so. So it's tied to the cane. You know, so it's not tight or anything like that. You know, there's a bit of slack in it, and then just to lock it, you can bring it round about through there again. But so that kind of shouldn't come undone, and I can slide that down to where I need it. If I need any adjustment, I can slide it up or slack now, for I've got a bit of movement on this cane should I need any more slack. You know, because you don't want to really make it too tight when you wrap it. I'm trying to remember this year to take all my strings around clockwise, just so through the season you don't get like it backing round on itself, and just take it round. I mean, the bottom's fairly supported, so once it's got a little bit higher, it'll be fine. Just going to go in between sort of a truss and the stem, and just wrap it around a couple of times like that. Doesn't matter if it's got a bit of a sway in it, it doesn't matter, because it can't fall over, because the string, you know, it'll stop it, it'll get to there, and that's it. And it's as simple as that, really. I'll just quickly show you this. So this is the shelf that was in my polytunnel. So it comes out, I've got some bits of timber that I've got some sort of ready-made legs for it. It's not like super sturdy, but it's sturdy enough for what I need, and it'll become my onion drying rack. But for now, I've no functioning polytunnel, so this kind of acts a bit like both, really. It's got a polythene top on it, which is just basically trapped in with bits of timber, and this side's got the polythene between two pieces of timber, so it's just a weight. It's got airflow through. It's got net on it here and over the top. Inside it, let's pull some of this up. It's a fairly tight, snug fit, because I want to try and keep it as butterfly proof as possible. You know, you can. There's just enough give in the net. You know, where you can access inside, you know, to get at your seedlings. These are the Brussels sprouts, leftover celery. I need to get rid of some of these now because I don't need them. Obviously, put all that under there. Obviously, if I pop my brassicas on, especially my sprouts, they can live under there, buy me a bit of time, because I won't be actually needing this for onions until probably July. You know, so a lot of my sowings and everything will be done and put under here or under the little table, which we'll look at a later date. But like inside, it's got a net on the bottom here as well, same stuff, scaffold netting, and that's just to help prevent anything going through the bottom, because obviously butterflies, but also moths. Some moths can be a bit of a problem, and then if it starts chucking it down, I can either open it for a bit to let it water things, or I can just roll this down like so, and that's it. If it gets like really windy, sometimes I have a sledgehammer and I just lean it on that just to give it a bit of support, or I can tie it down if I need to. There is a couple of proud screws on it somewhere underneath where I can tie some strings to and tie it to the legs, but it very rarely ever lifts, and that stops them getting absolutely flooded. Get a little bit of rain in the ends, it's blowing in at an angle, but it's it was just an idea and it's come in handy. I've used it for a good few years now. So it's a dual purpose, it's a shelf. I was going to make another one, but I kind of just manage with this, you know, and it's a way of storing it, otherwise it's stuck down the side somewhere for ages. So it becomes my drying racks when my onions are dry. I put stuff on it, then after that, until my tomatoes are finished, and it goes back in the polytunnel, ready for the following season. Right, we'll do some lettuce harvesting anyway. So I'm just going to pull this net up. It's a little bit different on these beds, these Vajigga raised beds, because of the size, so I have to kind of take all the pegs out to do this. Just gradually work it up like so. So you can use these as cut and come again, little gems if you want, you know, but for me it's when I do them in the small punnets I used to, but for me now this is mainly just food for cane, so it's kind of just get them out really. I might end up you know, putting more little gems in that bed and put the leeks in here and just put them at 6-inch spacings for smaller leeks. No particular fashion, need to cut, but I think I'm going to take the corner ones first. They're not ready really, but they're just to, you know, give him a bit of food. I was hoping my French beans would be okay, but problems to germinate. I might actually get some more seed. Nice in there. Tidy little things, no slug holes. A couple of little holes here. That was where I had one snail. Well, one slug it was. I spotted a hole in the leaf and I came out that night and there it was. So I got him out and that was it. So we take 4. Because, I mean, you can eat 2 of these. No problem. And I'll just give them a bit of a wash. And then what I'll probably do then, you see, is I'll probably start taking some, just to make some gaps. You know, the other thing is you've got like open ground here. I'm leaving the roots in. Just going to cover the tops because I don't really want them to sprout again, which they can do. You know, which is fine. You know, you can take like the inner heart off and leave the outer leaves, and you'll start getting some like mini lettuce and convert it to a cut and come again. So I'll pull the net back down in a sec. Right, so down in the little greenhouse, so this is where I've been putting some stuff. Got sweet corn there, my cayenne pepper and my jalapenos and melons and some of the Curbit family, you know, the cucumbers and courgettes. This is where they've had to come because there's no room in the palisade now, so these courgettes, you know, they're getting the roots appearing at the bottom now. So not be long and they need to either get planted out or put into sort of 2-litre pots, but I'll probably be getting ready to put them down to the allotment. A little bit of slug damage the other night with a snail actually. I found it yesterday. But it doesn't take long. It's something like, what, 5 days ago I picked this lettuce. That's the mesure. You know, I need to lift that net up today and start harvesting some radish. You know, but they soon recover. And that's just after 5 days. So what we're on now, we're on Monday today. So I reckon I'll probably leave it another 3 or 4 days and then I'll go in and pick another batch. So I think I've got about 13 bags off the last lot and I've only had 3 bags so far, so Kane's going to be getting force-fed lettuce at this rate. Right, that's it for this update. It's just going to be a short update because I thought I'd do this. So I'm going to go down the plot in a couple of days, I think, just to have a look, and might take some courgettes with me, and so I'll do a bit of footage from the plot because it's been a while since you've seen it, probably since I planted stuff up there, so we'll see how it's going on, because down the garden I put them broccoli in some pots. They're just starting with tiny heads on them. The plants are a bit small, so I'm hoping the ones at the plot will have probably started as well, because I'll be picking heads probably in about 3 or 4 weeks. So it soon comes round, you know, and then I've got to obviously start thinking about sowing things for later in the year, you know, for harvest later in the year, you know, so sort of in between sort of now and now and the end of June, I'll be sowing things to put in to harvest September, October. Probably some more French beans I can get them to germinate. Yeah, so that's it for this video. So thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time. Actually landed down at the plot. It's not too bad actually. It's not as bad as I expected. The broccoli is, well, I'd say it's ready. I don't want to leave it too much. I could leave it a few more days, but I don't want to risk, if I can't get down, it'll blow and I'll lose it. That kind of happened last year, I think, or the year before, where it started to blow quite a bit. So I thought, well, the majority of it, I think, I've just had a really quick glance. We'll have a look around in a minute anyway before I do anything, because there is some weeding to do. Like I say, because I mean, I've been up here twice. I did a bit of weeding about 2 weeks ago on the garlic. That's about it, to be honest. I mean, as far as I know, I think, as far as I can remember, I don't think I've had the nets up on the collie and broccoli since I planted it. I might have had it up once. I can't think of one, but they're not too bad weed-wise. So I'll try and do a bit of weeding while I'm here, just in case I can't get up, because there's a couple of other jobs I need to do as well. But predominantly, get that cauliflower, get these courgettes in. I brought quite a few of them, but I'm only going to probably put about another 5 in, so I'll have 8 courgette plants. A fairly small bed, you know, but I'm hoping I can get down regular enough to pick them. You know, it's not too bad just to nip down and harvest stuff, you know, because blueberries will be coming ready soon. But turn the camera around and we'll have a look. That's the garlic. It's not looking very large or anything like that, to be honest. don't know why. I think it's, well, obviously when I planted, you know, the plot was still in flood, so whether that's had a bit of an effect or not. And then we've had like dry, hot spells. There's no happy medium. So it's got a bit of time, yeah. I think it's probably going to be about another 8 weeks or something like that before that's ready. Providing rust doesn't come and clobber it. I can't see any rusters yet. But you never know when it arrives. Asparagus, I cut that when I was here last week. There's a few more sprigs come up. I'll probably take a few more pickings and then leave that to carry on. You know, because there's one asparagus plant in this complete half here, so I might start like putting beetroot and stuff like that in that. I might actually put my sweet corn in it and sort of get rid of some of this frame, because I can kind of zigzag. I'd rather do it as a block sweet corn, but I've nowhere ready for it unless if I've waited until my broccoli's out. I don't know, it's all, usually you see my sweet corn will be in a bed and there's not quite enough room in this. Mine, I could probably get 15 plants in there, which would probably be enough, and the garlic could be kind of out of the way. So yeah, I might do that. I'll see. I was hoping to put French beans in there, but they've been a nightmare, so I've just direct sown them in one of the metal raised beds in the back garden. So I just keep getting failed sow into them, so I thought, bugger it, I'll just put them direct. Spuds, they've come on. You know, still a few that are a bit lagging behind for some reason that haven't come up, but the majority are through. So I think it was Jazzy, Charlotte's. No, it wasn't. It was Charlotte's, Maris Pier, and then 4 rows of Orla. The Jazzies are at home. Yes, these are Charlotte's, Maris Pier, 4 rows of Orla. So there's a big gap over there for Orla. Don't know why. See if I can walk along and inspect. Might just be a bit slow coming through. Yeah, there's a little bit of a top coming through there. So just slugs, leave it alone. It'll get going. I'm probably not going to bother hilling anymore because they are hilled quite a bit. Let them do the thing now. While we're heading this direction, that's the 3 courgettes. I just kind of slung them in. I didn't even water them last week. I just slung them in. I hope there's a rabbit there. Doesn't look so well. It's probably not. Yeah, it's probably not so well, that. Poor thing. So yeah, I've got to put the courgettes in here. This is a Rigoletto. For some reason they're a lot bigger over there than here. I'm not sure why. Probably something to do with when this plot floods, it gets all the, you know, all the manure and compost has been piled up there, and it just puddled it, ends up like black the water. So I don't know whether it's a bit rich for it or something, I don't know. But we'll have some of the thing we'll have to deal with at some point. But they're ticking over, because I'll probably take some of those as leaves, you know, fairly soon. I need to get in there and clear the underfoliage and put some pellets in, because there's a few slug holes. Not too bad, you know, I'm not panicking. Peas have been absolutely horrendous this year because they got pecked to hell. So I tried to protect them a bit. Anyway, they've come round a bit, but they're going to start podding soon. So yeah, a bit of a fail, the peas this year. You know, so if I get a bed available, maybe like where my onions are, I might put like 3 rows of peas in there and knock it and get rid of this netting and have a rethink of, you know, for obviously next year. But cauliflower, not doing anything as yet. There's a couple that have, obviously, they've had something have a right do at stem. They're just collapsing. I think there's 2 that are like that. I think they're quite small, but I think there's 24 in there altogether, so I'm all right for that. I mean, I'll probably do 10 or 12 collie plants and some more broccoli for a later planting, but I need to obviously start them soon. So here's the broccoli. You know, there's some small heads. I could leave that a few days, but as I'm here, I'll take it. And, you know, there's some that are a lot larger. So I'm not after massive heads, because when you've got 24 of them, it's quite a lot of broccoli. And then there'll be the side shoots. You know, so there's ample amount, you know, of plants in there, broccoli. So won't take long to get them chopped. Watch out fall over because the ground it's quite lumpy still here. It's dried out, but it's quite easy to fall on. Onions, these are red onions. Like I said, I think I came down and I filled in some gaps where obviously I think, you know, somebody had sheared them off. So there's some white onions dotting them out amongst them, the Santero, but predominantly red spark in there, and they're all Santero. Not that great, to be honest, but we'll see how they go. They've got a bit of time yet anyway, so they'll be, you know, probably another 6-8 weeks then. but you know, you've got longest day soon, so they've got to get some growth on pretty quick. You know, yeah, longest day, what is it, 12 days or something like that, and then they should start bulbing. But we'll just see. If it's a bad year, it's a bad year. I know it started off really wet. The beds are unprepared. These beds need really sorting out this year, so I'm not really too bothered about, you know, putting loads in for a late season. But if I can, fine. But I need to concentrate on preparation for next year. So I'll get that. I might do a bit of weight, I don't know yet. I'll see. I'll just film some bits of it anyway, because I've got a bit to do. So you know, if I get around to weeding some beds, great. If I don't, I'm not bothered. Yeah, it's just been so hard to get up here, you know. And say there's other jobs. I mean, I've got a chance for polytunnel that I can have off here. Not for here. I'll take it home. But it's just finding time to come and strip it down before someone else has it. But we shall get on nevertheless and see what we can get out of this bed. Right, I'm going to lift this net up. Been one of those years this year. I've not actually seen that many cabbage whites, to be honest. I've got some broccoli and that. There's some collie at home, just in these little pot things, and I've squished a couple of eggs, but I've not gone, like, you know, over the top looking after them, to be honest, and no cabbage white attacks. So I don't know what that's all about. Probably lift that end of the net up, I think. Yes, that's all I do. I always like to set, you know, the sides up, and then just one of the ends I pull, you know, actually pull the peg out. I could probably leave some of these in, as long as I make a point of actually coming down, you know, sort of like what we're on today. We're on Monday, you know, come down again, probably Thursday, something like that. I could probably do that, but it's just a case of I'll have to come down. It's been tricky actually, because, you know, it's like I come down in mornings because I've got to deal with the little fledgling at home at the moment. So he's not that far off ready to go, I don't think. You know, another week or so. He's good on his feet now. His legs are all right, and he's still pretty wild, so I don't think he'll stick around. But if he wants to, he can do. Yeah, some of these here have started to blow, so these will get sort of eaten pretty quick. So we shall see what we get. I might cut them all, I don't know, I'll see as I go around. I'll use a knife, I think. It's quite dense to actually see. Bother about some of the foliage, I'll just chuck that in the path, I'll pick that up after. You know, it's not massive, but still broccoli. Not been in here that long, to be honest. I think I put it in here end of April, something like that. Something like, what, 5-6 weeks ago or something like that. Right. Oh, decent all the broccoli heads there, so not all massive, but there's plenty there. I'll pick some side shoots now and we'll get on with some other jobs. Right, that's what I managed to pick out the broccoli. So I've got one of them that's pretty full. Some side shoots. I just picked them all, side shoots. Some more will sprout, but I actually like side shoots that sort of size. It's nice to just sort of steam as they are. And it's just cover that back in, it's all the weeds and stuff like that. So I've had a bit of a weed. I've taken the nets off the onions, so they should be all right. I've had to pull a few out because they've started that stuff, you know, they sort of just dry out and give up. But the beds are full of craters. You know, where the ground's cracking, so which won't help because you get air pruning of the roots then. And my peas have got a tunnel underneath them, so I've tried pressing it in a bit, but they'll just re-tunnel. That's the problem. So I think that's not helped with them sort of putting roots out in a big air pocket underneath them, which won't help. It's just with voles and moles knocking around. Cauliflower, been in there, a bit of a weed, and I've just sort of earthed up around the stems because that's full of big sort of cracks that you can get your fingers down. The collies, there was 2 collies that were just doing nothing, so I pulled them out. Put a few slug pellets under there. Well, broccoli, I've taken a lot of the old foliage off at the bottom. You know, so the start there's a couple of small side shoots will sprout out now. and come with them, sort of get them weekly. But it's kind of not too bad. It's not going to be the best year, but like I say, with sort of limited visitations here, I'll still get a crop. You know, I don't know what the onions will be like. I'm still using last year's onions. Actually, I've run out of white. I've got about 12 red left. You know, but I've been using spring onions. So yeah, it's just sort of like working out what to do with the rest of the season, really. I don't like not growing something, but I really do need to concentrate on these beds, getting them ready for next year, and that takes time. You know, unless you've got all the soil mix that you can bring over when you're trying to create soil for growing in, it takes a bit of time. So I'm hoping to get me on some straw, and this year typical straw's a bit scarce and a bit pricey. I need to do a bit of a reset on the beds. You know, how I first made them, and that's just cake them with straw on top, and that's just it kind of knits the soil together. It gives a fibrous sort of a wicking action and threads it. Obviously, you know, if push comes to shove, end of year, I'll put a lot of wood chips on it as well, and then come next year I can break the excess wood chips off, and you'll have mycelium, you know, fungus starting underneath, and it'll just stop that erosion, and there'll be something that's gone out without using all the nitrogen up. I can always put some sulphate of ammonia in to sort of boost the bed next year. It's just to kind of stop that weathering type of problem, you know, where it erodes all the goodness out. So the soil, it's just sort of like, it just doesn't feel right, the soil, to me. It's too soily. You know, I prefer it sort of soil with lots of bits of particles in, but it's, you know, I think over the years, I think it's just with not adding to it regular enough, it's just gone like that. But we can always recover it. Like I say, just takes time, so you have to sort of sacrifice a bit of growing time. But if I can do it later in the year, I'll do it then. If I can spend the season getting things over here ready, and then when I say enough's enough, cake the beds up, cover them over and whatnot, and then it can do its thing. But yep, that's it from the plot for today. Anyway, I don't know what I'll add to this video, but there'll be probably a quick look around the garden, I think, let you know how things are going back there. But next time we'll be up at the plot, probably some more side shoots or bits and bobs to do, I don't know, as and when I can get up. But I need to tackle that polytunnel, which conveniently is quite close to where I can park my van. So that's going to be a big job. So I'm going to get this lot back home now, and then have a look around the back garden probably tomorrow, and then decide when I'm going to come up and start stripping this polytunnel. Right, so I shall see you back at home probably. Right, we're on the 18th of June now, so I thought I'll give you a quick run around the back garden to bring you up to speed before we actually try and kick off again with some more consistent uploads, because it's just been very difficult to actually dedicate the time to actually getting on with the jobs in bulk. It's just been coming out, doing the odd 10 minutes here and there as and when I can. But I need to get caught up. There's a few jobs. There's quite a lot to do, but I'm not going to just bombard myself with jobs. I'm just going to try and do it as and when I can. Because things are growing, things are doing okay, most of them. But I'll turn the camera around and we'll have a look. So we'll start off down the bottom end here. Sweet peas, a bit patchy at this end, but they're nice there. So I need to start taking some flowers, obviously, otherwise they'll just kind of stop growing. So if you cut flowers, you'll get more. And I dot them about the house because they just smell really nice around the house. So that's me, mum's the Hilda's mix. So I didn't do a seed giveaway this year because I didn't get a lot of seeds last year. But I've been trying to feed them a little bit, but they do dry out. So I really need to dig all that soil out this year and completely replenish it, because it's kind of proper spent. It just dries out. I think it's just run out of its organic matter, really. These broccoli were absolutely, well, fail really, because they just dried right out. But yeah, I think if you had one of these, you could get some broccoli heads easy enough. You know, cut them off, feed them, and get some star shoots. You know, they'll carry on. And we've got the leeks, a bit of parsley, some coriander. These are some Roma tomatoes in pots, which I'm going to be doing a bit of an experiment with, which will be in another video. These are some sugar snacks, carrots. They're probably, you know, about 1/4 of an inch at the moment, but a few more weeks I can start harvesting them. They're right next to a mint plant. I thought that maybe the smell of mint will just deter the root fly a bit, but we shall find out. Strawberries, Strawberries have been one of the crops that have done well this year, for a change. I'm actually getting a bit sick of them, to be honest, but get them while you can. Birds have been starting to come down over a few, but I'm trying to pick them daily, you know, and keep on top of them that way. And we've had a lot, you know, and obviously behind them we've got the Jazzies, which have been a bit slow to come up, to be honest. A lot of slug damage to the tops, but they seem to have got going now. Climbing beans, absolutely shocking. I just think it's not been a year this year for the climbing stuff, to be honest. I think it's just been too cold, too damp, too windy for them to actually get whole. But you know, there's still time to sow them, and you know, once they start, I mean, this one's starting to take hold now, but the other ones, I'll probably pop a few seeds in direct, and if they germinate and they grow from the ground, they'll do okay. It's been the same with the dwarf French beans. Absolute fail trying to sow them in modules or pots, so I've just sown them direct, which we'll have a look at further up the garden. Same again, that's strawberries. They need a good water. I think the woodlice are giving them a bit of a hammer. There's a lot of woodlice in there, all around the actual the crowns. Plenty of water, it's not a drying problem. They just sort of go like that and then they perk up again. So there's no, unless there's the odd chafer grub or the other one, the vine weevil, but we shall find out. And I'm having a problem with this now as well, because it's spreading around the garden, the old mare's tail. I'm trying to pick it as when I see it and just let it dry out. But yeah, bloody nuisance. Got the alpine strawberries. Been trying to keep on top of the watering, but you know, I forget for a day or two and they fail to shrivel up. But I gave them a soak the other day and they just pumped a lot of flowers out, so I just need to keep them watered. I need to put them in bigger pots, really. Got some orla in pots, mainly growing seed potatoes then. Just one, I think there's one potato per pot. It's like 12 litre pots. It's not fancy compost, it's just a bit of a mix and match. I've no idea what that is, but it seems to be doing okay. These are swift, desperate to harvest them, because I think I did them sort of March time, so they're ready. I don't know how well they've done. I had watered them and fed them and stuff like that, so there should be a crop in there anyway. Moving to polytunnel, tomatoes. They're romping away now. Quite woody, you know, a thick, tough stem, quite bendy. But they're doing all right. I'll get a crop. You know, tomatoes on them and that. The sun golds will be the first to start ripening. I don't know if you can see there, but sun golds are plenty of flowers on them. Just gotta watch it, because it's like got the little vine there. Take it off, it's got damaged. Side shoots, obviously you need to keep picking them out. You're not sure what side shoot is. Got a small one there. Got main truss coming up, leaf truss. Little sucker there or side shoot, just nip it out, and that's all you have to do. Just keep doing that, because they'll keep putting them out all year. Obviously some of them have got a bit big and I've had to cut them off. Yeah, they always go curly, the tops of my tomatoes in here, and then as they grow they straighten out. It used to bother me at one time, but it doesn't bother me now. They always look, the tops don't look great, and then they just even out and it ends up all nice at the bottom. What we've got at the back here, we've got a basket of fire. They need to go in bigger pots, only 1 litre, so I'm going to probably put them in 3 or 4 litre pots, I think. That is another chilli, I don't know what that is. Well, it's definitely a chilli anyway, I don't know what it is. There's a leftover bell pepper there, because I've actually put my bell peppers out. There's 2 bell peppers. That one there, for some reason, has never really come to much at the back. Bit of mint just drying out. I need to sort of have the oven on low, because I need some sage. So I've got some sage picked as well to dry that out. I just pop it in the oven on a low setting for about half an hour to dry it out, and then crumple it up. And it just stores for ages then. Been watering them, but they keep filling up like that, because I know under there, if I lift this out, there's probably the red ants. So, they've always nested in this corner. Okay, now he's out, being the organic sort of a ground-friendly lawnmower. Brussels sprouts, a Brody F1. I've got an idea where I'm going to put them now. I was a bit miss. I thought, well, don't bother doing them, but I thought, so I potted them on. They need watering. I have to water them today. But they've got 1 litre pots, so they'll be okay for another week or 2 at max, and then I need to get them in the ground. Bit of basil. These are some swede. I don't think I'll do any. I might put some swede in if I get a spot, but I might just sow them direct. Some leftover stuff, a couple of leftover little gem lettuce I need to pop in, because I've finished this bed now and replanted up. There's one lettuce that's kind of just died over there, so I'll rip that out and put the remaining one in. These are the bell peppers. They're about 17 inch apart, something like that, 17, 18 inch apart. Not as big as they were last year, so whether I get a load of red peppers, I don't know, or whether they do anything, I have no idea. So it's the lights, it's a lot of cloudy days. It's not been a great year weather-wise this year, but you have to do what you can with what you get. In that bed there, 2 rows of spring onions, and then between those I've sown direct some dwarf French beans, these safari. Because same again, everything I've sown, I think I've sown probably, oh God, probably about 80 modules, and I've had 2 that have fired. So I thought, I'm sick of this, so I'm just going to sow them direct, and if it's warm enough for them to grow, they'll germinate in the ground and they'll continue. If not, they'll just fail. But I kind of do put it down to, at first I thought it was bad batches of seed on that, but I think it's just not been warm enough, consistent enough, and the weather's just been quite unstable. Obviously it needs a weed in there, so I'll lift that net up probably. I'll leave it probably another few days and then I'll weed, because there is a few of the French beans that have come up, but only a few. Peas at the back, first green shaft, they're doing okay. How the ones at the plot are, I don't know. I need to sow some more for a second run. And then we've got the Duke potatoes at the back. They're tickling away okay. I need to water them, to be honest. I think I've watered them once so far, but we've had quite a lot of rain. There's the spring onions. Remember, I had little gaps, and you can see down the spring onions. They're running out of room now, so they're getting a bit tall and leggy, but it works out okay. You know, I've been harvesting them. It's like pencil onions really, and I prefer them. I don't like spring onions when they get too big, and it's been great to harvest them like that. So once they're finished, I'll be onto these, and I've got some more seeds coming, some red spring onions, so I'll probably do another batch of them when they arrive. These are the long carrots. I don't know how they're going to get on. There's been a few that are just struggling, getting attacked by stuff. But we shall find out when it gets around to September for them. A little greenhouse down the bottom here, what I call the cucumber house. Got the 2 fem spot, 1 pony, which is like a sort of smaller cucumber, and I've put like a melon back there, the Minnesota midget. What if it comes to anything, I don't know, but I planted them in these halos. So I thought, you know, because I got some from the allotment, because obviously there's been a few plot holes, give up the plots, and they've not been bothered about collecting the stuff, so they've just said, like, anyone who wants it, have it. So, you know, waste not, want not. So I've got a pile of them, so I thought, well, I'll try them in them, because I do get cucumbers that rot off at the stem, but I've not lost any this year, you know, so I've got quite a few backups. So there's a few, obviously, newcomers that have come down to the allotment, and some aren't given, you know, some cucumbers, because they will grow outside as well. Then we've got some peppers. We'll do some compost stuff on them, because I've got some compost to sort of try out. So I'll probably do the cayenne peppers at the back, and also I've got some plant feeds to try out as well. And then we've got the raspberries, the polka. They're doing okay. I just need to put supports up for them now, and they should start soon. We've started to get buds on now, so another month. My gooseberry bushes looked fine, and then sort of like it's about 2 days, the sawfly just stripped them. So I've not had I did prune them right back, but I've not had any gooseberries this year off them. And we've got the Durham early spring greens. I've been ripping the greens off, so I need to go in and rip some more off. This is the celery that's interplanted with the mazure, so I need to strip this mazure out. I've already taken a row out. I just use them whole now because I need them out of the way to allow these celery to occupy the space. This bed here has got the rocket at the end, which is now overcrowded by the radish. So once that radish is out, I'll cut whatever rocket there is, because it's still growing. I harvested them last week to allow the radish to come through, and I'll clear that. Need Primo 2, I've harvested a head already. So I need to harvest this pretty soon, to be honest. Not as much slug damage, a little bit of slug damage in here, but not as much as I would if I had them at the plot. So I don't know how well they keep, but I'll sort of like cut them off, clean the ball up, cling film them, and use them that way, because they're great in coleslaws, these. And then I'm hoping to put my Brussels sprouts into that bed, which means obviously putting the net up and all that lot, but I've got all the hoops ready for that. Lettuce, I've been picking it, so I'm overrun with lettuce at the moment because the fridge is full, and I'm a matter of days away from another pick on that. So about 4 or 5 days ago I picked that, so it's still doing fine. That metal there, I've got another polytunnel, so from one of the plots. So when I'm going to put it up, I don't know. It could be this year, next year, or the year after. But I have a larger polytunnel which I'm going to put in the back garden, because that one is only 6 foot by 10, and this other one is 8 foot by 15 foot. So it's kind of like almost double the square foot area inside growing capacity, which shows. So it'll come roughly to where this gutter is here, and obviously it'll go to the fence. So it's got an aluminium base rail, and it's quite a fancy one. You know what I mean? But I've had that one for a long time now, so I thought, well, there was one on the plot. It was going free because the owner didn't want it anymore. So I just need to get a cover for it. A couple of parts, it was quite rusted up, you know, to get some of the bolts out, because it was all anchor plates with bolts and that. So I need to get some new parts. So, but you know, it's the downside cheap in buying a new polytunnel. So that's a project further down the line, as with the fruit cage and fence at the plot. They're all jobs that need doing. But yeah, there's plenty to get on with, but it's just having actual energy to do it and the time, you know, because there's some big jobs, and you think, like, well, do I stop the growing so I can get on with the jobs? Really, I should sort of go like, right, harvest what I've sown, and then call it a rest for the rest of the year and get on with some jobs. But I don't know. I always end up making more work for myself, but I just need to manage it a bit better. It's just been so hard this year. Really has been difficult. You know, on top of duties, obviously I've got full-time care for my dad. I'm in a band, so I've got gigs. I need to do the gigs because that's a tiny source of income. You know, because I can't work because I've got chronic fatigue syndrome, so I'm signed off. Well, indefinitely. So, but we just have to carry on as we can, and try and do what we can when we can. And of course, some of you saw in an uploaded, I had a little Rook that I kind of rescued from the road. So I've still got him. He's not doing great. He had an issue with his leg. That's sorted now. But his issue is he can't fly. His feathers are terrible. And he's still quite wild, so I can't let him out. He has got out a couple of times, hence why I know he can't fly. So I'll try and get him in the house. But he's so skittish. You know, he's okay with me, but anyone else is, you know, he doesn't like it, and he's very panicky. So I want to try and get a couple of perches set up in the kitchen to exercise his wings, to build them up, because if he does fly off, I mean, he only has to go, you know, I'll turn the camera on so you can see it. He has to go from that shed there, and then he'll fly around to this fence, and if he goes over that fence, there's cats. He has fluttered off a few times, but he's sort of crash landed within the patio area, and I managed to get hold of him, because once he goes beyond that, I can't do anything. You know, I'm doing the best I can to try and keep him safe and build him up, because I couldn't have just left him in the road. He'd have been run over within an hour, because I had to stop traffic to actually, you know, pick him up. Got him home. Leg was something wrong right with his leg, but that's built up now, and that's fine. He's quite good with his legs now. He can jump from perch to perch perfectly fine. So I'll let you have a quick look at him. But yeah, he's a bit timid still, but we'll see. He's currently in here at the moment. Just open it up. See if he's there he is. He's up there. He's jumping about fine. You know, he's still young, but you know, because like, what's his name? I've just got a habit of calling him Bud. So he's doing all right. I will sort of bring him into the kitchen now and then, but he's very skittish now because I haven't got a black jacket on. If I don't have my jacket on, he thinks I'm somebody else. But that's it. He can fly perch to perch, so he can get a bit of exercise, and that's built his legs up. 2 weeks ago, he couldn't do that. He's still a bit of a clumsy klutz like, but it does all right. But to get him out of there, first he'd come out on my arm and I could walk him into the kitchen. Now I have to get hold of him, and I don't want to stress him out, so I can only clean him there every couple of days. You know, so I try and clean the front while he's eating something, the front bit, and then I have to get him out to clean the back bit. But I can only do my best for him, and hopefully he'll either, you know, fly off wild when he's ready, or he can stick around. It's his choice. It will always remain his choice because he's a wild bird at the end of the day, and it's not my place to keep him captive. For now, I need to keep him safe, and then when I'm happy that he can survive, because he can't pick food up himself, he can do all that. He knows I feed him bugs, I bury bits of food, you know, I hide bits of food there, so he has to forage for his food as well. That's what they do in the wild. You know, when he's capable of doing that, he's just not capable of getting up safe off the ground quickly. You know, and it just, I don't know, it seems unfair to sort of like try and get him this far for it to all go wrong. So I just need to get him in the best shape possible, and if that means another month or two, so be it. Fingers crossed, but I'll keep you updated on that as we go on through the season. So thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you in the next video. See you now, bye bye.